Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon and hashtag Clownfish was right. It looks like we were right. This former Halo executive is taking over Dungeons & Dragons, and he says it's moving into a full franchise model. It means they're going to license out D&D, I guess. Got to give a hat tip to GPA, Graph Paper Architect, for sending this over this evening. And I've got this story and another story we're going to talk about Jess Lanzillo, who is the former D&D VP. She's landing at White Wolf. So it looks to me like the long-term plan, again, this is just without reading the whole article, this is just a very Hasbro thing. This is current year Hasbro. It looks to me like what they're going to do is just outsource D&D to somebody else. That's the eventual plan for it. I don't think they really care to publish more books themselves. They don't want to get stuck with a bunch of stuff they're going to have to send to Ollie's later. I mean, who could blame them? They're doing this with their toys now. A lot of different companies are making Hasbro licensed toys, including Playmates doing Power Rangers and Super 7 and all these other companies, right? So it makes sense that they would just be like, yeah, you want to make D&D? Pay us, and you can make D&D. Or we'll license D&D out. Actually, I could totally see them going with Critical Role's company, because two of the 5e or 6e or 5.5e, what the hell are we calling it? 2024 people, they jump ship for that company. Who knows? But Hasbro doesn't have to concern themselves with it. They can, pass the buck. Somebody else wants to go screw up D&D or do something really predatory with the pricing or whatever. That's on them. They get the license. They can do what they want. If they screw it up, oh well, it's not Hasbro's fault. They just take the license back and give it to somebody else. So let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Go out to news.clownfishtv.com for more podcasts and news.clownfishtv.com. You can unlock paid podcasts for $5 a month. Helps the channel out, because God knows YouTube isn't going to help anybody out here real soon. We'll talk about that. But real quick here, RIP Alan Hassenfeld, one of the descendants of the original Hassenfeld brothers who formed Hasbro. I think he might have been the last one that had any association with the company. So that's it. This feels, it's very sad that he passed, but this also feels strangely poetic, because Hasbro doesn't want to be a toy company anymore. And the Hassenfelds were all about toys and all about play. And I think they kept kind of the integrity of Hasbro intact. And then when he stepped down, he actually stepped down as chairman in 2008. And you can see a definite shift in Hasbro after that they became more Borg-like. But yeah, the guy running it now, Chris Cox, is a Microsoft guy. Cynthia Williams was working with him. She was Microsoft. She screwed up D&D, and then she went to Funko and she screwed that up too. So yeah, why wouldn't Hasbro just license it out? So this comes from Wargamer. Again, hat tip to GPA. Former Halo executive takes over D&D, says it's moving to a full franchise model. D&D movies, video games, books, and other licensed products now live under one roof, says the new D&D franchise head. He's announced that, D&D has announced it's shifting to a franchise model, with Hasbro's former senior VP of digital games, another digital guy, leading the charge is Dan Ayub. Leading the charge is the new head of D&D. He shared the news in a LinkedIn post on July 9th, so that'd be yesterday, saying we shifted our structure internally, and D&D moved to a full franchise model, meaning everything, books, video games, film, TV, everything touching the franchise lives under one roof. He's worked with D&D and Wizards since 2022. So he's only been there a couple of years, initially as head of studios and then as senior VP of digital games. Oh my God. Before this, he worked at Microsoft for 11 years, predominantly as an executive producer and studio head for Halo's 343. Oh my God. No. It's over, man. Game over. He worked for 343 Industries, which ran Halo into the ground. Okay. In his LinkedIn post, he said the new role has my childhood self doing cartwheels. He's apparently been playing D&D since he was 12. Got you beat, dude. 10. As of today, I'm thrilled, humbled, and somewhat freaked out to be leading the D&D franchise for Wizards of the Coast. He promises that when it comes to this internal shift in structure, the impact here cannot be overstated. This is a massive massive for D&D. It's massive for D&D and will allow a strong, coordinated, and well-funded approach for the franchise, and most importantly for us, the fans. Not much is known about the future of D&D on TV and movie screens, but the franchise has many, many video games in development. They're working on AAA D&D game. Space Marine 2 dev Saber Interactive. Disney Dreamlight Valley's dev is doing a real-time survival game. Demio's creators are developing first ever D&D VR game, and they're going to have a Baldur's Gate 3 successor that Hasbro is doing themselves now. So I'm sure that'll go well. This tells me, I think they're just going to license everything out. I think they're going to view the tabletop this is just my theory, but this seems to support it. When it's all said and done, they're going to license the tabletop version of D&D out to a tabletop game publisher, and it's just going to be licensed product. They will be the brand managers, and you'll have D&D slot machines. They already have that, and they're going to have, D&D mobile games and D&D pumps and purses. They had all that shit too. And then the actual tabletop game, like the heart and soul of D&D, I don't think Hasbro's going to want to mess with that. This is probably why they left so many people go. There is no future for a D&D staff at Wizards, at Hasbro, because they're not going to be developing those books internally. I mean, that's my takeaway. That might actually be a good thing. I'm going to be honest. That might be a very good thing to have somebody else that actually gives a shit about it working on it. Maybe isn't so infected with corporate performative wokeness working on D&D. Or it could be 100 times worse if they give it to like Paizo or something. You know what I'm saying? But there are a lot of companies out there that could frankly make better D&D than Hasbro's been making. So why not just let them take the chance? I could see that happening. So speaking of which, people who got gone, Jess Lanzillo is over at White Wolf now. She's the creative director for World of Darkness brand. She recently left her job. No, she didn't leave. They got rid of her, I'm sure, as Wizards Vice President of Franchise and Product for D&D. She held various executive positions at WotC, including Chief of Staff and Vice President of Creative for Magic the Gathering. Now she's on her way to the newly revived White Wolf. Yeah, that surprised me. I thought they were gone. Oh, I guess they're back to lead the vision and IP development of the World of Darkness story. World of Darkness has been my creative North Star since the 90s, seeing firsthand how these games create communities, inspire storytellers, yada, yada, yada. She's joining at a turning point as Paradox reorganizes the World of Darkness brand under the White Wolf banner and brings licensing and publishing in-house. Her experience in the tabletop RPG world building should prove invaluable as World of Darkness expands its transmedia offerings. Hasbro doesn't want to make tabletop games. They don't want to make board games anymore. They're going to, when it's all said and done, Hasbro is going to be just a rights holder. They're going to be like Embracer Group. That's what they're going for. Like no overhead whatsoever, just staff. You've got an office full of brand managers and you oversee all these little companies that actually want to make toys and they want to make games. And you don't have to really put your, stick your neck out. You just sit back and collect the licensing money. And I think before it's all said and done, that's what's going to happen with comic books too. I think Marvel and DC, one or both, will just license out their comic books to whoever wants to make comic books. And they're going to look at like a t-shirt. You can make your D&D t-shirt, your D&D candy, or your D&D tabletop game. And I think that's what's going to happen. But again, I don't know if this is a bad thing. I mean, Hasbro's made a lot of really dumb decisions with D&D over the last couple of years. This might actually be a chance for them to start fresh and be like, okay, fine. We're going to give the D&D license to another company, and they're going to get into the weeds, and they're going to be a bunch of fans, who want to really make the best D&D possible. And it might wind up being a very, very good version of D&D that's more faithful to, what I believe the kind of the core tenets of D&D are, than what Hasbro's been producing. And Hasbro doesn't have to take any risk. So, and there are plenty of publishers out there that could do a better job than Hasbro. But I have this sneaking suspicion that if that's the route they go with to outsource it, that it's going to go to the Critical Role guys, because the Critical Role guys poached 2 of the VPs in charge of D&D to work on Daggerheart, right? Is that what it is? Daggerheart. And then the official D&D account wished them well, right? Publicly wished them well on Twitter, which I thought was weird. Like, they just poached 2 of your guys, like 2 of the most important people for the brand. They poached them, and you're like, hey, we can't wait to see what you guys do. It's going to be fantastic, everybody. I'm like, yeah, I think there's something going on, and I could totally see them just taking over D&D, which means that all the sensibilities of Daggerheart will be in D&D. Critical Role will get complete control of D&D. Wouldn't that be a thing? I don't know. But there are a lot of publishers out there I think could do a much better job than Hasbro's done, and they won't have the shareholders to have to answer to as much, right? If it's licensed, like, they can make a more boutique, artisanal product. And it's not like Hasbro where they got to sell like millions and millions and millions of copies to make those shareholders happy. Actually, the shareholders will be happier because they'll be like, look at all these places we licensed out D&D and we have like no overhead. We just have to kick back and collect the money. The money just rolls in. And and if there's a problem with the game, people hate the game, whatever, that is that publisher's problem. It's not our problem. We don't have to deal with all the OGL backlash and all that stuff. That is whoever does it, White Wolf or whoever the hell, Paizo, whoever they outsource it to, it's their problem. I can totally see them doing it. I think they will. I think they will very soon. So I'm going to wrap this up. Please subscribe. We'll talk later. For more pop culture news, views, and rants, go to news.clownfishtv.com. That's news.clownfishtv.com.